I, Dr. Kabir Das, welcome you to the second session of Introduction of Data Mining, where in this session we will discuss about architecture and kinds of data upon which we can apply the data mining technique. This session includes our course outcome 1, that is to understand the importance of data mining and its application in various areas, which covers two program outcomes of engineering, that is program outcome 1, apply the knowledge and engineering specialization, program outcome 2, identify and analyze complex engineering problem. The content includes for this session are architecture of typical data mining system, then data mining on what kind of data. So here in this data mining on what kind of data, we will discuss about relational database, data warehouse, transactional database, advanced database system and World Wide Web, and followed by summary. So first of all we will discuss the architecture of typical data mining system. So here these are the lower level of resources where we are having different databases and data warehouse from where we can collect the data. Here whenever we are collecting a data, after collecting we are applying the technique like data cleaning and data integration, filtering in case of data warehouse, and this data will be moved to the database or data warehouse server. From data warehouse server, this data mining engine and pattern evaluation both will work with the help of knowledge base. Later we will discuss about what is the work of knowledge base. So here we are applying a data mining technique and evaluate the pattern after applying the data mining technique on data, and the perfect pattern will be represented to the graphical user interface. Then again it will be, if we are having any problem, with the help of knowledge base again we can able to retrieve the data from the databases or data warehouse through the data warehouse server. The architecture of typical data mining system may have the following major components. First one, database, data warehouse, World Wide Web or other information repository. It includes databases, data warehouse, spreadsheet or other kinds of information repositories. So in lower level, this is the lower level of the architecture where which includes the different databases, data warehouse, spreadsheet or other kind of repository from where we can collect the data. Then after collecting the data, we are applying in the lower level the techniques like the pre-processing techniques like data cleaning, data integration may be performed on the data. So in data cleaning, what you are doing, we are cleaning our data, that means the noise or outliers present in the data set, we have to remove those, and if you are having any missing value, we have to handle those value in data cleaning. In data integration, we are resolving the different issues of data integration as data are collected from different sources. Some issues like schema integration, redundancy may be present in the data. So those type of things will be taken care in this level, and then we are giving the data to the database server. Then the next level is database or data warehouse server. It is responsible for fetching the relevant data based on users' data mining request. So the work of the server is to provide the services as per the user demand or user request. So the data are stored in a warehouse. So as per our requirement, then as per the user requirement, the relevant data can be provided to the user for the further processing of the data. Knowledge base. So here the domain knowledge that is used to guide the search or evaluate the interestingness of resulting patterns. So here we are using our knowledge base to retrieve the interestingness of the patterns from the database. Such knowledge can include concept hierarchies used to organize attributes or attribute values into different levels of abstraction. So here the knowledge is used to generate the concept hierarchy. Now what is concept hierarchy? Where suppose we are having a attribute of age. The range of age can be of 1 year to 100 year, let's say. So we can able to apply the concept hierarchy technique. Instead of taking the individual value, we can take a range of value and give it as a name or label. So like that we can have a junior, middle age and senior. Let's say from year 1 to 20 it's a junior group, 20 to 40 middle age, 40 to 100 it's senior. So we can able to characterize or categorize the particular attribute age value into different concepts. So this is known as the concept hierarchy. So this is used to organize our attribute or attribute values into different levels of abstraction. So instead of individual value, we are taking a different levels of abstraction here. Next is knowledge such as user beliefs, which can be used to assess patterns interestingness based on its unexpectedness may also be included. So whenever we are dealing with the data, we are also dealing with the user belief data. So that means what is user belief? So the data can be a believable data. Now suppose a attribute is there where the value is age, the field is age, and it has been entered with 506. It is not a believable data. So we have to trust that believable data, and which is used to assess the pattern of interestingness based on the unexpectedness. Other examples of domain knowledge are additional interestingness constraints or thresholds and metadata. So here metadata means it's describing the data from multiple heterogeneous sources. So we are collecting a data from different heterogeneous sources. That's why we are using a term metadata here. Next is data mining engine. This is essential to data mining system and ideally consists of a set of functional modules for tasks such as characterization, association, correlation analysis, classification, prediction, cluster analysis, outlier analysis and evolution analysis. So these are the different techniques which can be applied to the data mining engine upon the data. Next is pattern evaluation module. It focuses the search towards interestingness patterns. So here it employs the interestingness measures and interacts with the data mining module so as it can have the capability to focus the search towards the interesting patterns. It may use interestingness threshold to filter out the discovered pattern. Now maybe so several patterns has been generated, but we are taking a threshold value to filter out our pattern. Now in which type of pattern you are interested, that should be filtered out from over the all the generated pattern. So that can be measured by interestingness threshold. Alternatively, the pattern evaluation model may be integrated with the mining model depending on implementation of data mining method used. So here this pattern evaluation model, it is always integrated with the mining model because after applying the technique only we are generating the patterns are generated and we are filtering the interestingness pattern from that. So depending on implementation of the data mining method used, so it is also depend, the patterns are also depend upon which methods are implemented on the data. For efficient data mining, it is highly recommended that to push the evaluation of pattern interestingness as deep as possible into the mining process so as to confine the search to only the interesting patterns. So we can efficiently use the data mining so as before applying the technique we should be cautious enough that what type of patterns of results you require or what should be the interesting patterns you require. According to that we are applying the methodology upon the data. Next is the next component of the architecture is user interface. Communicates in between users and the data mining systems. Here user interface is nothing but it's a platform which allows to communicate between the user and the data mining system. It also allows the user to interact with the system by specifying a data mining query or task, providing information to help focus the search and performing exploratory data mining based on the intermediate data mining result. So it can also allow the users to focus on search technique and also apply the different data mining technique based on the intermediate result. It allows the user to browse the database and data warehouse schema or data structure. What type of data structure we have used? What is the schema for this data mining system you have used? So later we will discuss about the schema. Generally that is used in case of data warehouse. That means it is a layout how we are storing the data in the warehouse, and also it will be allow the user to visualize the pattern in a different forms. Now, by this we have covered the architectures for data mining system. Now we'll start with data mining on what kind of data. Now already we know that what are the different techniques in data mining we can apply on data. But we should know that what are the different data types upon which we can apply the data mining technique. So here we will discuss the number of different data repositories on which mining can be performed. So broadly it is categorized. The repositories includes relational database, data warehouse, transactional database, advanced database systems. So first we will start with relational database. It is the database management system which consists of collection of interrelated data. So database management system where we are having a interrelated data, and we can manage the access of database through different software program. A relational database is a collection of tables, each of which assigned with a unique name. So in relational database, it is nothing but a collection of tables where every table is having some name. That is a unique name we are using for every table, or we can say every relation. Each table consists of a set of attributes and large set of tuples. Every table consists of a set of attributes that is known as representing the column value, and large number of tuples that is known as the rows. Each tuple in a relation table represent an object. Now we can say a table can be a class or entity, and every tuple can represent an object, identify a unique key and described by a set of attributes. For example, suppose you are taking a table named student. In that table, every student, suppose we are using a student registration number, that can be a unique key which identify a individual student, that is a individual instance in that particular class. The entity relationship model, that is ER model, which is constructed for relational database, represents the database as a set of entities and their relationship. So ER model is a diagram, or it's a flow diagram where we can have the clear idea about the relation of different tables or entities in a relational, and the relationship of each table with another table or each entity with another entity can be reflected. Next type of data type is data warehouse. A data warehouse is a repository of information collected from multiple sources, stored under a unified schema, and that usually resides at a single site. So here in warehouse we are having different dimension where we can able to store the data. So every dimension can be a one attribute. So where we can able to store the values. So data warehouse are constructed via a process of data cleaning, data integration, data transformation, data loading, and periodic data refreshing. So here before loading the data into the warehouse, these are the three data pre-processing technique like data cleaning, integration, and transformation we have to do with the data. In cleaning we are avoiding the noise and outliers, handling the missing value. In integration we are resolving different issues of integration as we are collecting a data from different sources, and in transformation we are transforming the data to a other form. So after this we are loading the data in the warehouse, that is known as the data loading. Then periodic data refreshing should be there, but we are not updating the data in the warehouse once it is loaded. So you can able to see this is the framework of data warehouse. Here this particular figure has been taken from the Hanenkamba book. Data sources in Vancouver, Toronto, New York, and Chicago. Suppose these are the different stores or different databases where the data are stored, and it has been reflected with 4 cities like Chicago, New York, Toronto, and Vancouver. Then we are applying the pre-processing technique like cleaning, integration, transformation, load and refresh. Then it will be loaded in the data warehouse. Now the data are available in data warehouse. Then the clients can put the query and analysis tool can be used, and the data, the demanded data or requested data can be provided to the client. To facilitate the decision making, The data in data warehouse are organized around the major subjects such as customer, item, supplier and activity. So it is a subject oriented data warehouse. One characteristic is subject oriented. That means you are storing the data related to customer, item, supplier and other key activities. That means you are storing the data upon customer, item, supplier and activity. The data are stored to provide information from historical perspective and are summarized. So you can store the data and see the data of 5 to 10 years historical data. A data warehouse is usually modeled by a multidimensional database structure. So here the warehouse can be modeled through a multidimensional database structure where each dimension corresponds to an attribute or set of attributes in the schema. Schema means it is a layout where we can store the data and each cell stores the value of some aggregate measure such as count or sales amount, etc. So here it is a multidimensional in structure where every dimension corresponds to one attribute. Every cell can have a integrated value or aggregated measures of that attribute. The actual physical structure of a data warehouse may be relational data stored on a multidimensional data cube. Next type of data upon which we can apply our data mining system is transactional database. A transactional database consists of file where each record represents a transaction. So here you can able to see the diagram of a transactional database where it is a transaction ID, it is reflected with the transaction ID and list of items of IDs. So transaction IDs here, there are the unique numbers where it is reflected every transaction and list of items for that particular transaction ID. So transaction includes a unique transaction identifying number, that is transaction ID, and a list of items making up the transaction. The transactional database also stores information regarding sales such as date of transaction, customer ID number of the salesperson and of the branch at which the sales occurred. So apart from this, this transactional database also associated with a number of tables or the related tables which store the data about the customer ID number, then ID number of the salesperson who has sold the data, sells the product, and of the branch where the sales has occurred, etc. And now we will discuss about some advanced topic like advanced data and information system and advanced application. So now we will discuss about some advanced databases upon which we can apply our data mining system. It includes object relational database, spatial database and spatiotemporal database, temporal database, sequence database and time series database, text database and multimedia database, heterogeneous database and legacy database. So first we will start with object relational database. Object relational database are constructed based on an object relational data model. So here this type of database always based on an object relational data model, and conceptually this object relational data model inherits the essential concepts of object oriented database, where in general terms each entity corresponds an object. So the objects is associated with the following terms, like it used the set of variables, that means variables which describe the objects which corresponds to an attribute in the entity relationship model. Then it also consists of set of message, where the message is used for the object. Through the message the object can use to communicate with other object in the class. A set of methods can hold the code to implement the message. So this object is having the following characteristics. Objects that share a common set of properties can be grouped into object class. So object which is having a common set of properties, it can be categorized as a common class or a object class. For example, suppose we are using a employee class and the set of variables they are having like name of the employee, address and birth date. Now suppose I will say salesperson is a subclass of that class employee. Then that salesperson object can able to inherit all the variables that is used by the employee class, that is name, address and birth date. Next is temporal database and sequence database. So first of all, what is temporal database? Temporal database typically stores the relational data that include time related attributes. Suppose in our relational data we are having the figures like which reflects the time related attribute value, then it is a temporal database. These attributes may involve several timestamps, each having different semantics. So here suppose we are having a example of sending of a message, and at the destination from the source we are having a sending of message, and at destination we are having receiving of message. So every message along with that we are putting a timestamp with the message. So these attributes may involve several timestamps which is having different semantics for a different use. Sequence database. Sequence database stores sequence of order events with or without concrete notion of time. Example, customer shopping sequence, web click streams. Here this database, it is also related to timing constant, but it maintains a sequence. Like customer shopping sequence, a customer in which way or in which sequence you are making a shopping. Then web click stream, how we are clicking on the web. So that can be analyzed and it can be categorized as a sequence database. Then time series database. A time series database stores a sequence of values or events obtained over repeated measurements of time, like hourly, daily or weekly. So here this time series database which stores the sequence of values like hourly data, weekly data, daily data. It depends upon which type of format, in which type format the user wants. Example, data collected from stock exchange, inventory control and the observation of natural phenomena like temperature and wind. Next is spatial database and spatio-temporal database. Spatial database is nothing but it contains the spatial related information. So where the example include geographic map database, geographic information, very large scale integration, that is VLSI information, or computer aided design database, medical and satellite image database. So where we are following this type of database, it is considering under spatial database. So this spatial data may be represented in raster format, contributing a n-dimensional bitmap of pixel value. So here how it can be shown. Map can be also represented with the vector format, where the road, bridge, buildings, lakes are represented through the spatial database. Next is spatio-temporal database. Spatio-temporal database is nothing but which stores the spatial objects that changes with time is called spatio-temporal database. So whenever we are representing the spatial data which used to change over time, then that can be named as spatio-temporal database. Next is text database and multimedia database. Text database are database that contain word description for objects. So here this word description, it doesn't contain the word description are usually not a simple keyword, but it is a long sentence, paragraph, product specification, error, bug report or any type of report, warning message, summary report, notes or other documents. Generally this text document can be categorized into three categories. One is unstructured, which can be shown in a web page or www. Semi-structured, which is for example like email message or HTML, XML web pages, they are semi-structured one, and well structured, that is the library catalog database. Next is multimedia database. Multimedia database store the image, audio and video data. As the name suggests, it is multimedia, that means multiple medium. So we require multiple channels to store the multiple type of medium like image, audio and video. These are the different type of data which can be passed through a single channel. They are used in applications such as picture, content-based retrieval, voicemail system, video on demand system. These are different applications through which we are applying the multimedia database. World Wide Web, speech-based user interface which recognize spoken commands, etc. So where we can able to apply our multimedia. Next is heterogeneous database and legacy database. Heterogeneous database consists of a set of interconnected autonomous component database. The component communicate in order to exchange information and answer queries. So here in heterogeneous database, it is generally it's a collection of interconnected components which are autonomous and which can be collected from the different database. The components communicate in order to exchange information. Components of connected or communicate with one another for exchanging the information, and suppose we are having any query, answering to that query, the components are exchanging information. Now legacy database. Legacy database is a group of heterogeneous database that combine different kinds of data systems such as relational, object-oriented database, hierarchical database, network database, spreadsheet, multimedia database or file system. So when we are having a combination of all these type of database system, we are saying that it is a legacy database system. And the last data upon which we can apply the data mining systems, World Wide Web. The World Wide Web and its associated distributed information service such as Yahoo, Google, America Online, Alta Vista provide rich worldwide online information services where data objects are linked together to facilitate the interactive access. So here users generally seeking the information of interest which travels from one object through a link to another. So whenever we want to search something, we can traverse those links or we can search those through a link. The page will be open for you. Such system provides the opportunities and challenges for data mining system as it is an unstructured one. Web community analysis helps to identify the hidden web social networks and communicate and observe their evolution. Here we are using a term like web mining, which is the development of scalable and effective web data analysis and mining method, which help us to learn about the distribution of information in the web in general, which categorize the classify the web page, how to classify the web page, and it also uncover the web dynamics and association of other relationships among the web pages, among different web pages. And now summary. In this particular session, we have discussed the architecture of typical data mining system, which include database or data warehouse and their appropriate servers, a data mining engine and pattern evaluation model, where both of these data mining engine and pattern evaluation model can be combinedly work with knowledge based system, and finally it can be linked with graphical user interface. So this architecture, it will give you a general idea how we are collecting our data from different sources and applying our data mining system upon those sources to generate the pattern or generate the report or generate the knowledge in which we are interested in. Then data patterns can be mined from many different kinds of database, such as we can apply our data mining technique upon relational database, data warehouse, transactional database, object relation database, and also this interesting data pattern can also be extracted from other kinds of information like repository include spatial data, time series data, sequence data, text data, multimedia data, and legacy database, heterogeneous database, and World Wide Web. So here we have used certain terms or certain database system where we can apply the data mining system. So this session is very important because whenever we are working in our research area, we should know our data upon which we are going to apply the technique. So like it is important to know the data mining techniques, what are the different techniques and why these techniques can be applied on the data, what should be the result. Like that you should know that what are our database upon which we can apply the data and which data is related to which type of application. So for those things it is very important to know the kinds of data upon which we can apply the data mining system. So with this I can thank you.